Okay, welcome to another episode of the Rugby League Outsiders. My name's Craig.
And my name's Karl.
And this week we've got two incredible guests from the England Wheelchair game, which is Rob Hawkins and Wayne Boardman. So, if you haven't seen, massive plug now for the Made in Steel documentary for the BBC. If you haven't seen it, go and see it, and you'll see both of these guys in there in the documentary. An absolute phenomenal watch. Today we want to kind of dive into your preparation for the big game that's coming next week, but also talk a little bit about your route into wheelchair rugby. Okay, so where do we start? Rob, do you want us to kick us off?
There's not as much media with you, Rob, so if you can give us a bit of
the
a
less disabled one in the room before for you. So yeah, I started playing about the age of, I think about 13, 14. And it was all because of my condition that I had called chronic fatigue syndrome. So it was something that I just got just basically brought on through, there were no known cause of how I got it, through the side of genetics through my father. He had it when he was a teenager, and then it's just been brought on to me. It made it very tough on me. I was basically very fatigued all the time, which caused a lot of the muscle to deteriorate in my legs, making me struggle to basically walk as well as I used to be able to. And I came from like a very fit, a very healthy background, to the point of where I was constantly doing all sports, like running. I even took up rugby just before my condition as well. And just doing any sport I could, really. And I just loved being outdoors all the time. And this set like a massive setback to me. Obviously being very active and then going to very inactive, it brought a lot of downsides, both mentally and physically. And from there I've played Wheelchair Rugby League, where I've met players like Jack and obviously Wayne as well. Them two are primarily the ones that I've coached me up throughout my whole career. And basically led me to the position where I am now, really. So yeah.
So what age was that then, Rob, when it all started kicking in?
Yeah, it was about, so I just started my first year at high school, so about 12, 13.
Which high school did you go to?
Ryburn.
Oh, you went to Ryburn.
Yeah,
right,
Ryburn.
yeah.
So yeah, most of the staff were quite supportive. Most of the staff, there were a couple of ones where they were like, we think he's trying to get out of school, and it's like, why would I want to be doing that when I literally play sports for your school? But I mean, there were a lot of hating towards it for some of them, but majority of them were really, really good. And about 11.5-year-old where I actually first came down from that, and it kind of just brought on there, and it's kind of helped. I'm happy it has, because it gave me a better journey to tell the story too. Especially with all the stuff that we've done after the World Cup, like going in schools, being able to tell my story and go back to my primary school as well to actually basically tell my story and say, even though there is a setback, you can still make something out of it.
His first year of training, he couldn't even make it through a training session.
Really?
Like halfway through the session, he'd have nothing. Like literally, he'd have to go off and get back in his chair, because it'd be like this, just absolutely exhausted within half an hour, 40 minutes of pushing.
And what team was that at when you first started?
Halifax, and I've been there ever since.
Halifax Panthers or Blue Sox or whatever they were called back then?
It was just standard
just Halifax,
yeah. Although we could go back to Blue Sox at some point. That could be something fun.
Is that the talk, is it? Is that the word on the street?
No, I wish it was. But I mean, we're still trying to fight for pink kits, but we can't get that really.
I'm not fighting for pink kits.
You don't strike me as a pink kit kind of man.
Pink kit guy.
Really? I've seen you wear that pink kit.
Not through Joyce.
Brilliant. Okay, so over to you, Wayne. Just what about your intro? Because you played at a decent level before your accident.
I want to say it's a decent level, but I played 7 Pro. Come through Wakefield Trinity Academy. Then I went to play for Dewsbury, and then kind of had a falling out on Wayne, so I just came away from playing the semi-professional game. Went to play for Stanley Rangers, who I'd played for before. Quite high level, good team then. We played Dewsbury in Silk Cup Challenge Cup at the time in Ryde, so we had a good level, won many things. Then came away from the game, and then had my accident in 2004. A little bit lost, searching for something that were familiar. It's when you go from being active and able-bodied as it were, into all of a sudden everything's different. You're looking for something familiar to latch onto. And I heard about a cat called Pat Dolan came and measured me for my day chair. He used to work for RGK Wheelchairs. And he mentioned that he coached basketball for what was then Calderdale. But Wheelchair Rugby League was starting to come through, and the next season it were literally just started. So yeah, we've got this here. So I went down and started playing basketball because it was the off season. I played basketball as well as a young man, so yeah, again it was familiarity. I then got hooked on basketball and made Great Britain for basketball. I played professionally in Spain, in Germany, and all over there. And all in the meantime, I'm still playing Wheelchair Rugby League in the background of it, kind of thing, because it was very fledgling. It was very like with the two teams and everything. But my knowledge from the running game came through. I immediately recognised, okay, this is a sport that's familiar to me. And I was coaching Halifax and putting in quick play the balls and all this kind of stuff. And the level then was so basic, but my little bit of the knowledge from where it was
help drive it forward.
Because I was a permanent wheelchair user.
Yeah.
The first and foremost thing that when you start playing this game is you've got to be able to push a wheelchair. You've got to, regardless, it doesn't matter how good of rugby skills you have. We've played against many a professional team that come in and played it like that, and they can't push the chair. They've got all the ball skills and they know where they want to be, but getting your chair there, getting your ass where it's supposed to be like that, they just can't push the chair. Me being a full-time wheelchair user as well, kind of thing, I quickly picked up the chair skills, and then I could see the lines and the quick play of the ball, get the defence on the back foot, and these were just like the basic foundations of the game at the time. So yeah, that was my introduction into the game.
And so obviously now, you know, we're here at the England training camp. I mean, what does it mean? It's a bit of a loaded question really, because everybody, you know, the idea of playing for your country is massive. But, you know, I've got to ask it, what's it been like in the England setup for as long as you both have been, you know, and yeah, that's the question really was.
Yeah, so I think because I'm coming up on my about fourth year playing within the England squad and being in it, and I haven't seen it as much grow. I came into it when we're literally just training in small little sports halls, playing on different pitches, and now we'll come into a point where we're getting recognised for the stuff we're doing. We're getting nominated for awards. We're getting nominated for Sports Personality of the Year. Going to these prestigious events, meeting so many different people, and look why we're training today. We're training in pretty much the home area for training for England football, and we've had the women's team here as well. The men's team have come on here a bunch of times, and as you drive through, it literally says this is pretty much all England teams are welcome here, and all England teams train here. And it just shows how much the sport is growing from the place where I started. And I bet it's definitely changed a lot from when you first came into the squad.
So I'm England Heritage #1.
Yeah.
I was first ever to get that. That's just because I'm old as hell. That's all that is. So yes, I was here when it was Great Britain. We had a Great Britain squad, played under that flag as well. And the level itself now, like I spoke about earlier, where it was so grassroots and so fundamental in where we were before, the level of the guys now physically and athleticism and so on, a skill level, it's literally gone just like a missile. The guys are so skillful now, so fast and so competitive. For me personally, it's not just the representing England and playing for England, stuff like that. This is across board. I like to do everything at the highest level, where it's the most competitive. I love Super League, but when you get to this level here, like you're playing the best players in the world, and it's that being the best of the best. It sounds a bit arrogant, but
no, it's not, is it? It's that, isn't it? It's wearing that English cross on your chest. It's got to be such a proud moment every time you go out onto the pitch.
Yeah, I'm proud to be to represent England, but for me it's that as soon as I'm on the pitch, it's not so much I'm representing England, it's that I'm now playing the best players in the world, the best competitive level. Let's smash people. Let's get on and just play at the highest level. I love that competitive drive of everybody around you, and I love teams. I love
when it was in watching the documentary, which is all a lot of us have got on the sport right now, there were a little a hint, a murmur that you thought you might be getting on a little bit too much now. Maybe the last World Cup was your last. Is that right? Or
I'm trying to stay competitive. Like I mentioned earlier, these guys now are getting so athleticism and so so skilled in everything that they do. My level is I'm a T4 paraplegic, so I'm anything below my nipples effectively. I'm no movement, no sensory, no nothing. So as far as it goes, pushing wise, I can't move my chair like the other guys can and everything like that. So my brain's still trying to keep me in it, but their brains are catching up. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's for me, it's trying, and I've moved. So I've come out of a little bit out of the middle, and I'm trying to do more of a directional role on the wing. I'm still, up and running. I can still, pretty much be as fast as within. I'm not quite as fast as Rob, but up and running in a straight line. I might be a chair length behind him. Off for the mark, pushing, trying to beat someone, he's got me beat hands down. So then I try and position my chair so my brain can keep me in front of him instead of. But yeah, he's. I'm trying, and as long as I think they compete me, I've got. I'm really good friends with the coaches. I'm really good friends, with John McMullen and stuff like that. And I'm actually, I'm a competitive. You won't be here if you're not competitive. So we're trying. We can only try.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm interested to hear about your thoughts, genuine thoughts in this run up to the game against France, which is the first time you've played against them since the World Cup final. That that incredible game that there was with incredible finish. What are your kind of thoughts in the run up to that?
I think it's just a minute because the squad you've seen today, that's the full squad, but it's not the full squad for next weekend. The coaches still have to drag that down. So for the moment, my main thought in general is be in that 8-man squad. Be in that 8-man squad, do everything that I can to those little 1%ers, whether that's getting up at the correct time to go to the gym, fitting everything into my schedule that I can do at once, eating properly, making sure I'm hydrated, everything studying like you've seen, we've had videos all day today. Every 1%er to that is what makes us a better player. And also going back, our most recent game was only a year ago. It was only a year ago where we actually made it into camp for the World Cup when we travelled over to Ypres to go see the memorial over there. Full 2 days of it. And it was amazing. And we've got more recent footage. We can see the players that have already been selected. We already know who we're going up against. They only know a 12-man squad. Right. They don't know the full squad about who we're facing next weekend. And it's more interesting for us because we can actually prepare for that better. We can see, right, what's these people's downfalls. We can go back to plenty of games throughout that because we faced them twice last year.
So is that just as it's developed, sort of as England's sort of developed over the years, is there a lot more video analysis taking place now and things like that? Did that sort of stuff used to happen, or is that a more recent thing?
No, the video analysis probably came in 18.
Yeah, 18.
After the 17 World Cup and stuff. We did little bits and bats, but yeah, the RFL support and the coaching side of support and everything like that now is second to none. It's literally it's an elite level. Yeah. So we want for nothing now when it comes down. We're like, there's no turn unstoned, no stone unturned, whichever one of them way around it is. With the coaches now understand the game. We always struggled a little bit with coaches understanding whether wheelchair or coaches that have been able to translate like that. The coaching staff is second to none. You keep not, more please. It's that good, that good.
And what are your thoughts then in the run up to the game then, Wayne?
I know you've just had a media briefing, right?
Be yourself.
And he said, do you want to go out and then just smash them? There's a bit of the old school come out.
Do you know what it is? There was always a cloud over his head with France. 2012 was the first time we beat him here. I kicked a winning conversion for that game, and that was their full time, their full squad kind of thing that we played them. When I didn't play in that one, but when you guys beat them in 18, was it?
We first beat them in their home ground in 2017. I worked
17.
there. Yeah.
Right. Okay. When they beat them in 17, it wasn't a full squad, kind of thing like that. So there was always like, can we beat them again? They beat us in 17 at World Cup. Yeah, kind of beat us in World Cup, but there was always, can we beat them? But now we turned them over. Yeah. So there's a level of confidence within the team now of, in the back of your mind, you're always subconsciously like, shit, have they always got the best of us? Do they? You're like, well, mentally now they don't have the best of us. Physically, they definitely don't have the best of us. We know how they play. Everything. Our game's evolving massively. massively. All the time it's evolving with the evolution of our defensive players today that's coming and everything like that. It just evolves. So I think mentally is where we struggled before. I think we always had them physically, but mentally there was always that shit. But whereas now, yeah, we've got them.
Well, that's probably the biggest challenge any sportsman faces, though, isn't it? Are you mentally prepared as much as, because that's the biggest sort of challenge, isn't it, for a lot of people? But you seem to think now you're above them.
Well, we know we can beat them.
Yeah.
It would always before whereas before we knew we could beat them before, but it was always like shit when we come down to it. The beat us. You know what I mean? Whether it was some dubious decisions on this, or this didn't happen, or whatever. It just always, when it came down to the crunch, they came away with the cup. There's only so many of that time that can happen, or something like that. You're thinking, "Fuck, is this? Like, are we doing this? What are we doing wrong? Are we as good as we think we are?" Well, we proved how good as we was.
On Sunday, they're definitely going to be coming for us. They're going to be coming for us. They want us pretty much. They're going to want to basically smash us in our own home country as revenge for last November.
You think like a close win is not enough for them?
No,
they want to.
They want to destroy us. They want to completely dominate us, and you've all day, all weekend we've been preparing for that. We know what they're going to be coming for. They're going to be coming to basically beat us by so many points and demolish our name. But the problem is, once again, we have home advantage. But that's not to be overstated to the point of say, oh well, this is going to be an easy breeze for us. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we're more mentally prepared for that. We saw in the documentary, you see how quickly they lose their heads, and we have a saying which will stop that. We have a saying which basically just means next job straight away.
I think we're better drilled than them. I think we're better conditioned than them, and I think we're better coached, massively better coached than them.
I saw that in the documentary, and it was, I think it was like half time in the final. And the England camp, it was very much, okay, this is what we need to do. You keep going, you're going to win this game and all that. And for them, it was like almost terminal. You're throwing this away. You've not played. You're in the lead, but you're shit. You know what I mean? And you could definitely kind of see that.
They kept going on. Their whole thing was disability. That's what their whole their whole point was disability. This person's not disabled. Like, I'll use Wayne for example, because they literally named him. Wayne won't play this match. Yeah. But either way, Wayne didn't play with that match, but he still came out with a gold medal.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, they can keep going on the fact about this disability rubbish, but not all disabilities are visible.
Yeah.
It's an inclusive sport, not a disabled sport.
Do you thrive on that bit of needle that's going to be there, that bit of grit?
It depends which way it goes. It always used to kind of lean towards the French, and when it leans toward the French, it gets a bit tiresome. I'm not going to lie. But when it starts like, you're talking shit now. You just get on with it. Like I said, we're the best coached team in the world, bar none. So we're drilled so much that let them talk shit. You're talking shit because you're losing. Different when they were winning.
Yeah. From kick-off then, who's the guy on the England team that's going to take that first hit up in?
Jack Brown.
Jack Brown.
Most feared player in the world, bar none.
What's that kind of? I know what that's based on, but from teammate point of view, what is that opinion based on? What do you see in him? The
shit that he can do in his chair is second to none. He's one of the only players that I know that literally within 2 pushes is flat out. Flat out. Everybody kind of winds up or like he takes that ball and his vision, his timing is second to none. Second to none. I mean, we've got other players that can do it. Seb can do it. Scraps can do it. Joe's more negotiating what he's doing, but he's just everything's done flat out. And if you blink, you've missed him. You've missed him.
So just going the game itself. What aspects of the game is like your favourite part of the game? I don't mean the game against France. I mean the general sort of wheelchair rugby, on the pitch.
I think the brotherhood between teammates. You can tell straight away who's been trained together for long periods of time. They just gel together so well. But then there's also players that are surprising as well. You're thinking, right, these are a threat, and like a couple of players, they don't train together that much, and yet they just gel really well together. it's all that stuff, but it's the connection off the pitch as well, which makes it great. There's nothing that can really break that. But I think I would say I love the close games. I really hate them at the time, but when it comes to watching them later on, I'm literally there still sat nervous, but I'm loving it by the end.
Yeah.
Mine's so I under 11s. I started playing rugby league at under 11s, and mine's the fact that it's rugby league. That's where my passion is. It's rugby league in a wheelchair. So if you're a rugby league fan, you can immediately recognise the play of the balls, and got ball going backwards. Once you've got round the fact that we can't kick with his feet and we can't do all of these things, once you get round all that kind of thing, it's rugby league in a wheelchair. So I'm passionate about rugby league. I like the collisions, I like the tackles, I like the ferocity of it all. I like which is with rugby league basically. So I like it because it's rugby league in a chair.
So guys, this year's Super League, Wheelchair Super League's been probably one of the strongest it's been, well, since its inception. Do you think that's going to help you going into this weekend's game?
Yeah, I mean, intensity's been there. We've been travelling up and down the country. All of our games have been streamed as well. So it does kind of help the French team a little bit for the ones where they are on YouTube. They can go back and watch them, but they're not as close. They're not as close to what we can do together. Because with this, we've got teams, we've got players there that are playing against each other. There's nothing that you can see where it's close together. And I think because of that intensity, it basically made it so that it's not the same team in the grand final, or it's not the same two teams in the grand final.
Yeah.
It split it up the past few years. The first year when it first got streamed on Sky Sports, Wigan and Leeds, where Leeds took it last year. Leeds and Halifax took it this year. Leeds and Wigan again in a rematch from 2 years ago, and Wigan took it out. It's that intensity in London. London have massively improved as well this season. They went from, I'm pretty sure they were undefeated this year beside one game, if I'm right. I could be wrong on that one. They only lost one game.
Yeah, I think they only lost one.
And that's the strongest I've seen them. They were a very dominant team. So the intensity is good. It's helped us prepare, and it only gets more intense from here.
Yeah, what Rob says, the level of game across the board now has got better. The more competitive, high-level rugby league that you play, then the better you're going to be.
Yeah, the stand's just raising the standard across the board.
It's quite easy. If you're playing, lesser teams, kind of thing like that, it's easy just to fall back into bad habits and doing bullshit lately because one-on-one basically. And the level is so high now at the highest level that you can't go one-on-one. Whereas if you're playing a lesser team, Rob could skin half a team just by himself, running around with his pace and his agility. So if you're just playing competitive games week in, week out, that only makes you better and makes you. And again, it's mentally. Mentally, you need to be seeing shit and doing what's going on rather than just saying, "Oh, there's a gap there, I'll go through it." So yeah, the league has definitely improved everybody.
And how much do you see of the French leagues? Is it, do the England guys bring you video analysis of them or anything like that, or are you just going into a bit unknown with the French? Or obviously you're going to get a bit of information from Seb because he's playing there, isn't he? But what do you know about them?
It's pretty much unknown, really. I think the only game that they actually stream is their final.
Yeah.
But the unknown helps. It makes sure that we're not underestimating our teammate or overestimating him either. We go in blind, and it shows what we can do when something's put into us straight away. If something's there put in on the day, it shows how can we react to it. How can our composure be as well about facing a different team or a different set, and it helps so much.
Well, lads, thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us. It's been a real privilege being here today and seeing everything that's going on. There's been some things that I'll always remember. One of them was, it started off this morning, smiles, laughing and joking, and then within an instant, game faces were on, and you were serious into your training. And I don't think I've ever seen a transition like that. It was incredible. And I just put it down to the fact that what we're observing is elite sport, and we are. So thanks a lot from me for taking the time out to chat to us.
Yeah, and from me as well, guys. It's been an absolute honour coming to meet you all, and I can't wait for Sunday to be stood on that sideline while you're all belting the national anthem out, about to take it to the French.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, good luck for the week, and we'll see you next weekend.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
That's the final whistle for this week's episode of the Rugby League Outsiders. We hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow us on social media and share this podcast with your friends. And as always, if you have a story to tell, a club to plug, or a player that deserves recognition, we want to hear from you. So until next time on the Rugby League Outsiders, take care.